The Chicago Sky's plans for the 2024 season just became a little bit more clear, as now the Chicago Sky are going to have two top 10 picks in the WNBA draft and the first pick in the second round. We're going to talk about it all and more, what it can mean for the building of the team right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Haize.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. Joined by Stevo. Haize, we're in the building today, holding it down with the Chicago Sky. And brother, so we all had some questions about what the Sky's plans were. They traded Kahleah Copper to the Phoenix Mercury. I almost said Phoenix Sun. I always got to change my brain and I say Sun.
Same thing.
Yeah, to the Mercury, and they got the number 3 overall pick in the draft. We still kind of questions on what the roster was going to look like, what exactly were their plans. Well, the Chicago Sky made another move to move into the draft as well, trading Julie Allemand and the rights to Li Yueru. Li Yueru, who hasn't played very much for the Chicago Sky after they traded assets to get her in, and Julie Allemand, who set out last season. She's now, she's going to the Los Angeles Sparks. But the Sky now have gotten the number 8 overall pick in the 2024 draft. This puts them at having the number 3 and the number 8 pick. They also have the number 13th overall pick because it's the first pick in the second round. While it's a weird thing that can happen with first round picks in the WNBA. They don't always all make teams, but the Sky have now given themselves 3 opportunities to add talent to this roster, young talent at that. How you feeling, Stevo?
Like you said, it's more of a clear vision of what we was looking at. We didn't really know where we was headed in terms of what framework of what we was going to be dealing with. And they said they're going to build through the draft, and they cleared that up even more by adding another one, realizing this is a pretty stacked draft that is going to be in the next few years. So they say, hey, if we're going to go make a move, if we're going to trade our best player, we're probably going to try to get our next franchise player in this draft, and you're probably going to get 2 of one of the top 10 best players in the country or in the world. So it's exciting. I think that's the biggest thing, that it brings a lot of excitement around this franchise, more than we've been doing. So it's a more curiosity. I like it. It's more fun for us, of course, on this channel. Now we can start thinking about mock drafts, because we wasn't even thinking about drafts in the next few years at all. So I like that, of course. And now it's not on. I mean, of course, I've been watching the college game for the women, but I'm watching even more now, because now I'm looking at players that I can see fit with our current roster on terms of all the trades and signings we done made on long far.
Yeah, I mean, so and we'll talk about some of those moves. So, do you think, when you look at this now, with where the Sky are picking at number 3, number 9, is Angel Reese coming to Chicago? Do you think that she would be on their board?
I don't know, because I think she has another year eligibility, and some telling me
if she comes out. Yeah, if she comes
out. Yeah, some telling she might not come out, but like, even if she don't, like, there's a lot of, like, just within the first 10th picks, there's a lot of avenues you can go in this draft. Like, okay, if we looking for this team, we really don't have I would say, a transformative franchise center, and you could probably get that if you decide you want to go with Cardoso in South Carolina at 3. You can get her at 3, or you don't have, I would say, a franchise wing as of now, because you just traded your franchise wing. You can get Rakita Jackson from Tennessee, or you can, like you said, if Angel's not there, Aaliyah Edwards is there from UConn, and she's around the same size, but I feel like she's more it's more variety there from her game than Angel. So, and even if Angel come out, it would be a nice signing too, but I don't know if it'd be a good idea with who's in front of her right now, and I don't think she'll get much playing time. And what she needs to go, she needs to have an avenue where she either has somebody older, that's really older, that's a real vet, that she can watch from and learn from, versus somebody she's going to be competing with. Like,
you're saying Angel?
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is that we got Spoon here, right? So I think if we were to draft Reese, we have Spoon here as a head coach who can help guide that development. Like you said, I think last season people would have thought like, hey, Angel Reese is going to immediately change a franchise when she comes in, and she could still do that. But I think you're going to want to develop her, right? And I think that maybe having a coach like Spoon here could maybe create that good situation for us.
I think like I mean, I'm a big fan of her, but I think from this year, like I'm kind of like
You
a
see more of
little
the
taking.
flaws, right?
Yeah, it's way more flaws than not that I realized. I always knew they was there, but like more in the women's game. Like to me, she's if she come into the league, she's most likely gonna try to play power forward or center, and I don't know if she has the strength to play with somebody like Asia, like somebody like even like the it's a how many big centers we got at the WBA that like
Well, the thing is, I think she's going to have to start either power forward, small forward. I don't think maybe long term you can look at her as a center, but I think she's only 160 pounds, bro. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Is she really a
yeah,
wing, but she
yeah,
don't play like a wing. So like that's the
that's true.
problem. So if you develop her to first increase her shooting, she really needs a 15-footer. That's bad. She definitely needs a 15-footer. Her handle could be a little bit better. And then she started learning how to use her body. It's too many times where I see her like cupping the ball for a layup and like swaying her way around instead of like realizing the game, slowing down the game, knowing she could get in this certain position right here to make it easy for an easier basket. Like, which I feel like if she came here, our coach could help her with. It's
Yeah.
just that I feel like Angel more is more of a project than people realize. I would say that.
That's fair. That's fair. I definitely agree with that. So, and right now the general manager, after making this trade, did come out and say this: we're continuing to build assets by securing draft capital for upcoming years. An additional first round pick in 2024 will allow us to draft yet another valuable player and a foundational piece to this roster. They're going to try to find, and you know what? I would not be surprised if this guy end up taking a pick, and I know it's the WNBA draft at number 8 that may be considered a reach, but maybe they go after somebody who they are more of a surefire thing is going to be able to contribute to the team right away.
What would be a reach to you?
I mean, if we're looking at it right now, so at number 8, maybe Alyssa from Utah would probably be a reach there.
I could see that, but see this, but this is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I think she's very underrated from the media perspective. I think she's a top 10 player.
You think
Like
she's a top 10 player?
she might damn near be top five.
That's
She's
fair.
that
That's
good.
fair.
She's just like I think the thing is she's like undersized, but the way she plays the game and that's another thing. Depending on where you go, because we know one thing about the game comes with women, they play so much structure that it's like sometimes when you come into college, you're not playing the same way.
Yeah.
And it's different, like versus in the NBA. Like if you that dude like Paolo, just an example, Paolo and Edwards, they came free flowing and then they came into the league free flowing. That's how it go. Versus, let's say, what's the greatest? Maya Moore. Maya Moore didn't become, I would say, Maya Moore to like midway through her first year to second year because she had to prove that she can be that scorer and shoot that volume of score and confidence over a span of thing. It takes them a while for them to believe that, and they don't give you that trust straight off the bat. And that's be my only worry. But Alyssa, I forgot about her. I don't know how I did, but that wouldn't be a reach for me. But I could see how it could be a reach for others.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. Listen, the Sky are making their they're making their move. Clearly, they are trying to go younger. Do you think, like, before we get into the next signing, do you think there's any chance that we see them sell off any more pieces? Because last thing I didn't even think about them still holding the rights, because technically they still have the rights to Immissamin if they did want to try to move her. If she does decide to come back to the WNBA this year, they still could trade her rights, as well as having, they had to stop her contract. She had another year left on that contract, so that is a possibility.
Yeah. They could use it, but it also like I think that move will also show their hand. So like they were moving it, I can almost look like they probably getting like a Cordosa. They probably getting a center coming in. So who knows? Like, but I think they weighing all options. Like, we ain't seen like we didn't expect none of this.
Yeah.
Like, so who knows what they can do?
Yeah, so we'll see what ends up happening. But they did make another signing in this time as well, Stevo. Signing Kysre Gondrezick. I believe it's I know I'm probably murdering her name. They're gonna kill me in the comments. But keep in mind, this is former number 4 overall pick. This is just how hard it can be to make the NBA, even as a high pick. She's 24 years old now. She's a number 4 overall pick in 2021. She signed with the team, I think, last year on a training camp deal. She ended up not making the team. James Wade had even said then we want to see what she looks like after having a couple years to develop, come back. Didn't make the roster, but now back at least on a training camp deal for right now. Do you see her making the final team?
I don't know, like, because we also made another sign with Kennedy Carter, where
Yeah.
that's gonna be a tough because they're both guards, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and it's almost the same thing. She was taken fourth for I think the Atlanta Dream in 2020. She was like averaging 17 points in her rookie year, so it's like she's a bucket. But when she moved over to LA in 2020, it just like her numbers dropped, and she really wasn't herself because Canada was there. Jordan Canada was there,
Yeah.
so when she became pretty much the focal point of that team, which is why they resigned her. That's her team. So I think if I had to put my money on it, I think Canada. I'm not Canada. I think Kennedy will have a better chance of making a roster over her just because I think Kennedy is more the sure thing than she is.
Okay, that's fair. I guess we'll end up seeing. I mean, we signed a lot of guards last season as well. None of them ended up making it. Keanu Traylor is another one that actually
Yeah.
played pretty good. She had a really good game last preseason game, and then they ended up cutting her. So
I think she's signed with Minnesota right now.
she's okay. Well, cool. I'm glad she
Yeah.
get another opportunity. I think that
Yeah.
she showed enough to get one. We also have the Athletes Unlimited tournament's going to be starting soon. That's always a fun time. So I'm sure there will be some Sky members playing there. But yeah, I'm still really excited about the season for the Chicago Sky. They're going to be adding 2 top 10 picks. Isabel Harrison's going to be making a return. Marina Mabry had a solid season for us as well. There's still a lot of talent on the team. Diamond DeShields returning to Chicago after being gone. So I'm really excited about all of this, and we'll be here to cover it. But before we go, we got one last topic to cover, Stevo. Ruthy Hebard signed with the Lynx on only a training camp deal, but more than likely, looking at their roster, she's probably going to end up making their roster. But Ruthy, who she gave birth last season. She only played part of the season. Never was quite utilized in a major way. There was only kind of that hope that she could turn into something. We never really quite saw it. But what do you think about us losing Ruthy on top of all the other players we lost this season?
I mean, to me, it's like it's just a little personal connection, a connection. For me personally, because one, she's an Oregon girl. I'm an Oregon fan, so and when we drafted her, I knew what we was getting. You've seen her ups and downs. You've seen what she kind of turned her career to, and see what she kind of is going to be. And she was being pretty like a hustle player. She kind of found her role with everything, but I'm not too like when it comes for the team, because we got Breonna Turner in that trade. I'm cool.
Okay.
Like we like what we got back, especially let's also with Michaela as well coming in too. Like what we got back and what we lost, like they did a pretty good job of kind of filling in holes for the things we lost, for the players we lost. Let me not say things. Let me not do that.
Now, well, no, and that's fair. I think we've done a good job, but there's still another question here that I hadn't thought about up until this point. What's going on with Rebecca Gardner?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I haven't seen her been playing overseas like that, so I
Yeah,
don't
I
know if
mean,
she
and
like.
she went down with that foot injury. She never returned. You would think that with the impact that she showed off the bench, that even if the Sky weren't going to resign her, I would have thought she would have been signed by now by another team. And I haven't seen anything about Rebecca Gardner. So I wonder if like maybe that injury is serious. Maybe she's sitting out a year, which we do know players sit out a year. Maybe she's pregnant. I'm not trying to put anything on anybody. I don't know the woman's personal life, but like I haven't heard anything about Rebecca Gardner.
Yeah, like I'm trying to see something. Like I mean, I'm trying to like it really been radioactive silent. Like I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. Like maybe like Yeah, like the last thing we've heard from her was like she's getting along with her surgery. I mean, towards the end of the season, she was coming to a lot of home games and she was still in the boot. So,
Mhm.
but as far as like I follow her on the social media, I haven't seen her like in the gym working or nothing. So, who knows what's going on?
Yeah, the last thing I
Man.
just looked at her too. I hate doing that. Anybody her Twitter. The last thing she tweeted was basically after Ka got traded, and she tweeted eyes.
Mm, yeah, like I don't know what's going on. Like maybe, I mean, hopefully it's better than what we thought. Hopefully she working in silence. Maybe that's what it is. So that's the
Right.
best case scenario. But I would have hoped because she was one of my favorite Sky players. She was she was a nice identity piece for this team. So hopefully she finds her way back, or at least find her way back into the league.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. She definitely deserves to be in the league, and let's hope that the team does pick her up because she showed her ability and what she's
Oh,
able to do off the bench.
so let me say this. I'm looking. So I'm looking. She actually has been playing
She played
overseas.
in Greece.
Yeah. So she's
Yeah,
actually been playing. So who knows? Maybe she just
yeah,
got
she
a
healthy.
Yeah, so maybe it's just been out of sight, out of mind.
Maybe it is. Maybe this guy are kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with the rest of the roster before they make a decision. I mean, I guess we'll see. So
Yeah. Hopefully we get it back.
yeah. Any last thoughts before we get up out of here, Steve-O?
Hey, it's gonna be a fun season, I tell you that. There's too
That's for
much
sure.
going on. Like I said, this draft, the stuff they made it way more exciting than it was coming in. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and listen, I didn't even know if we were going to be streaming during the draft. We now got a reason to stream during the draft. So, with especially with the picks they have, we'll be locked in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. We know there's not a whole lot of Chicago Sky creatives out there. If you are another Chicago Sky creative, we'd love to collab with you. Go ahead and hit us up as
Mm-hmm.
well, man. You can follow us at Chicago Sky Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, Chicago Sky Central gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, 773-270-2799 with the number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. We up out here. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.